Hey, hi, hello. So today I'm going to be showing you some of the things that are new to my room this year. I'm going to have this in two different parts. The first part is going to be me showing you what is new to my room as far as things that I have purchased or sourced. And the second half is going to be related to how I do this on an art teacher budget. And so if you want to just skip forward to that because you don't really care about what's in my room and what's not, you can go to that time. So let's get started. The first thing, and the most important, and which is hilarious because I left it at home, is my planner. So I'm going to insert a video over here, scoot on over here. This is a Blue Sky student planner. It is $16.99 at Staples before any kind of discount. I like this planner because I teach 6 different sections in elementary, and I need to have the ability to put 6 different sections of information. I don't need huge paragraph areas. I just need space for that class. I teach preschool through 5th grade, in case you weren't aware. And I also have an art club. This year, I'm thinking I might actually do a tech club, but it's kind of varied through the years about what I'm going to be doing. So I like to have spaces to put that information or any kind of after school things like PTO meetings, PLC meetings, district meetings, etc. So this one is kind of a no frills. It doesn't have any kind of like cutesy things. It doesn't come with stickers. It doesn't have a cool color pattern. It is very stripped down and basic. And that's what I need for a lesson planning book because I don't need the frills and the chills and everything else. Not saying I don't have that because I do as my personal, but when it comes to school, I just want it to be very basic. This is what it is. Da, 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 da. No special things. So if that's something you're interested in, I know that they do still carry them, and I believe they carry them year round. So that's not something you need to like run to Staples for. The second thing I got was, oops, let me get the other ones too. I got some new classroom folders. These are the newer ones, and they are for 4th and 5th grade. I've talked about how 4th and 5th graders get the polyplastic folders, and I let them choose what color. I have a list of colors that they get to choose from. And the 5th grade, as they are leaving, if they choose, they can donate the folder back if it's in good condition. But these were ones that either I didn't have the colors for, or the ones that were donated back were not exactly in the best quality. So a lot of pink this year, a lot of pink. And I didn't have a whole lot of pink donated back, and I haven't had a lot of pink people like wanting pink folders. So that was a big one. But I don't know how many exactly I have here. I'll count them out and I'll put it on the screen. So log that away, editing Jess. And then I have a pile over here of things. The third thing, is I'm going to talk about some free things really quickly. And that is, hello, Chinese takeout or Indian takeout. These are free bins. They have these lovely lids that go with them. I use this for so many things. You can put paint in them. You can do marble printing with them. You can store things in them. A lot of times these end up being my table bins for when I'm passing things out very quickly. They are a godsend, and I get them free when I order my Chinese food. So why not wash them and bring them into the room? I have a whole stack of them. I probably have over 100 now, and I have been being good about parting with a few of them, especially the ones that are kind of getting a little gross. So yeah, if you order takeout, might be something you want. The next thing is ice cube trays, and these come sourced from my house because I didn't want them anymore. I got a better one, and these you can get them that have like the lids on them. I don't need the ones that have lids on them because typically while I am doing paint and stuff, they stack really nicely so the paint doesn't go from one to the next. I'm prepping usually like 13 of these things, and I don't have time to put a lid on it and take it off. I put them inside of a Sterilite tote, and it's just the small ones. and I just stack them in there and I slap the lid on, and then when it's time for class, I just take the lid off and I can walk around with the bin and just boom, 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 boom. These are really nice too, because if you want to just set it so that you put a few colors at this end and a few colors at this end, you're trying to share it between tables, they're long enough that it stretches. So that's really nice. Or if you just want to have kids explore color mixing, also really great. You know, there's lots of empty spaces for that. Love it. That was a break. All right, now going in. Some adaptive things / things for preschool. And these are ones that I think this is honestly the thing that I spent the most money on, which is hilarious to me, is these. I have pencil grips that encourage a 3-point grip and oversized pencils. And mostly, this is a funny thing, I bought it for the pencil sharpener because I only have one sharpener. And I obviously have kids that need to sharpen a pencil. More kids need to sharpen it than one. So, and I like that these come pre-sharpened, but I did not have enough last year for all of the preschoolers. And so I told myself this year I'm going to buy a big pack of them because typically you can only get them in a 2-pack. Saw this 5-pack, love it. I only got one because I don't need any more of them, but loved it. And then the pencil grips, I'm going to be honest, like 3-point grip, I know controversial, but I don't hold a pencil as a 3-point grip. So I can't really tell kids how to hold a pencil, but I'm sorry, I just hold it very oddly. Let me grab a pencil. Here's a marker. Okay, so what is it? You're supposed to hold like 3-point like this. Okay, well, I hold everything like this. I have a divot right here from how I hold it. And that's because like when I'm drawing and stuff, sometimes I hold it like this. Sometimes I hold it out like this. I just hold pencils weird. So, you know, but I know that people want to encourage the 3-point grip. And we do have some kids that struggle with holding a pencil. So I'm hoping that the silicone will help their grip. And if nothing else, I tried. Okay, I tried. Some of the other things, this is funny. I keep saying that, I'm sorry. But I've been keeping the consumer reports and the Costco books that I get because these are great for collage. They have people in them that kids can just cut out. And a lot of times, you know, kids want to cut out, like, look at that, headphones, TVs. They have material objects that are a lot more available versus the ones that I have are, the majority of what I have is a lot of nature. And so if they're looking for, I really need a person, or I really want a picture of food or something, then, you know, it's hard to kind of come across those ones. Oh, excuse me. Oh, look at that ice cream. Oh, I would eat that. Speaking of food, I invested in some fruit snacks. And these were on sale because they are patriotic, apparently. I don't know what makes it patriotic. Maybe they were blessed by somebody, but they were 50% off, so I got 26 pouches for $2, and I was not going to pass that up. These are great if I am on the move somewhere or I just need to sneak a snack in. If I'm going from one class to the next, or I am running from one room to the next, I can grab a fruit snack and tear that sucker open and inhale. It's not very, you know, nice looking, but whatever. I got this from Michael's. I get a new lanyard every single year because they get gross every single year. And this is I want to be careful not to show things. This is last year's. It was from the Van Gogh exhibit and the interactive one. And we were privileged enough to get the VIP. And honestly, I got this before I got married. And so this was something I found and I was like, oh, I want to use that one. But I have had Bob Ross in the past. I have a cute little selection in the back of my office door that's all the different lanyards that I've had over the years, except for I think the COVID year because I didn't need a lanyard. I wasn't in the school. So, but it holds my keys. I'm trying to make sure I don't show things. Holds my keys and my IDs. everything else, I'm trying so hard to like not dox myself, but this one I like too because it's a breakaway, and if you know anything about elementary, breakaway lanyards are a must. Honestly, I'd say it for any grade, but elementary especially because, you know, sometimes they don't even know they're doing it, but they want to reach, they want to give you a hug, or they want to hold something, and they want to look at something that you have on your lanyard, and it's, you know, act first and consequences later. So impulse control is non-existent, but you want to break away so you don't accidentally, you know, hang yourself. All right, the other two things are, she says, oh, look at these breakaways, and then I'm trying to open it. I haven't opened it yet. This I got Astro Bright paper because I have a student who is extremely colorblind and can really only see high contrast and bright fluorescent, like neon yellows and oranges. So I got this to put some stuff on for him to hopefully make him feel like he can be a part of things. So that was a new thing last year we found out. It's great that we found it out, but yeah. And then we have the also great Model Magic. I'm not sure if I am doing clay or not this year. I'm really hoping that I do, but I don't know if I will. And it's always just a cost thing. Clay is expensive, and I can't use glazes because they're so expensive. That's the sad part. I love clay, I love ceramics, but it is a cost. It's a big cost, and so I really have to weigh what I'm doing with the kids. It's been a year. Last year we just did Model Magic, so this year I'm going to try and do clay, but if it doesn't work out, I want to make sure that I have Model Magic on the back burner ready to go. And don't get me started about air dry clay because I will rant for an entire hour. I hate air dry clay. I have had so many children be heartbroken because air dry clay does not work. And I've tried a lot of brands, and I've tried different environments. I've tried not humid. I've tried humid. I've tried lights, no lights. Don't talk to me. It's been 11 years. I've tried it all. I don't like air dry clay. So I will pay a little bit more to ensure that my kids' artwork actually survives longer than 5 minutes. So Model Magic it is. There's some other things I can't really show because they're in use. The first being I got 3 clear milk crates, and those I got free actually from a garage sale. It was great. I happened to just be walking by. The sign said free. I asked the guy, are you sure? He said, yep. And I was like, great, mine now. So I have 3 of them, and they're already in use, which is great because those things can be expensive. The other thing, and I don't know if I can, okay, hold on. This is like the thing that I was most proud of. Let me tell you. Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to grab it. It is one of those 3-drawer rolly carts, and I got it for free because it was alongside the road and it was next to a free pile. So I got this. There was a tray that came with it for materials and some other stuff like some dice, puzzle that I also picked up for other people in school. But this sucker was free. It's great. It just needed a little clean. It was a little dusty. I think I saw a dead bug or 2 in here. There's actually another dead one in here, but free. Can you believe it? I was so excited. Let me think if there's anything else really quickly that I got. Oh, yes. It's right next to me. So if you are running into a problem like moi with supplies, supply orders, like for instance, our school is on back order for printer paper, like it's crazy. You put in the order in June and then it comes August and they're surprised you still want it. I don't know. But there is a little bit of a shipping problem with a basic supply that I need, and that is markers and colored pencils, because kids go through these like water through a sieve. So Walmart actually, and listen, side thing, I don't really shop at Walmart. I don't, no disrespect for people who do or anything like that. One, it's out of my way. I have to really drive to get there. And two, I have some issues with it. That's that. I also did not purchase anything from Target this year. So if you know, you know. However, I'm running into a bit of a problem where the first day of school is coming and I don't know that I'm going to have these supplies by the time that school starts, or even the time after. So what I have requested from my secretary is that this purchase be taken out of my budget. So I have fronted the cost up front and then it will come out of my budget. Some of these have been recently seen, and it depends on where you are, on sale for $8 a piece. And that means you are getting 24 boxes of 12 colored pencils for $8, which is, I can't. That's insane to me. And so I got colored pencils and I got markers. They also had crayons, but I don't need crayons. I have so many crayons. I don't know what to do with them all at this point. But, you know, do what you feel is right. I had to in the moment. But otherwise, I do shop a lot at Michael's. I shop a lot at Staples. And otherwise, I go to garage sales or I source what is in people's free piles. And I typically find a lot of what I need there. Or, you know, as I've said before, the hand-me-downs that teachers put out that they no longer want. Last year we had multiple teachers retiring, and so there was quite a bit to choose from there. And we will have more teachers retiring this year, I'm sure. So, you know, use these to your advantage. But so that's what I have for things that I have purchased. Now, I will let you know, I won't include the markers, colored pencils, because I have already been approved for reimbursement. The thing that I spent the most on was the Model Magic. And that was Michael's buy one, get one 50% off. And so it was a good deal. And I have a teacher discount. So yeah. Otherwise, everything else that I got up here, things that I got for my classroom, I spent less than $20 total. And most of the stuff was free or I only had to pay tax on. And I don't have a tax write-off status or anything like that. I just figured out how to do it. So if you want to learn my tips and tricks, continue watching. If not, if you're all good here, thank you for joining me. Thank you for seeing this. I hope that you have a wonderful year. Sorry it's not like as bright and shiny as other people that are like, look at all these great things I got from my classroom haul. And mine's like, look at my trash. But I'm an art teacher. What do you expect? So yeah, if you are interested in the cost breakdown or saving yourself some money or your classroom some money, stay tuned. Okay, so let's talk the financial side of things, because I don't know about y'all, but my budget it's, you know what, it's good for what I have. It is good for what I have. I get about a little over $1 per student. My budget this year is $425. So I have to make that last for the whole year. Obviously, I am someone who tries to find the best deal, whether that is in store or through a catalog, and I am thankful that my district allows me to do that. There are some caveats, there are some things you have to do, paperwork you have to fill out if it's not from a purchase with the district. However, if it is, then you're fine. But first of all, learn how you get reimbursed with your district. Obviously, there are things that many people do, such as Donors Choose or a GoFundMe or Amazon wish lists. Some districts allow those, some do not. Please make sure that you check first about the policy, because sometimes the Donors Choose is if it's a donor, if they donate, the items then become the school property. So even if you leave the district, the items have to stay there because the items were purchased for that specific group of children. Please, please, please get clarification before you do anything. Otherwise, you might end up very sad later. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the one that I take advantage of the most, and that is the Staples program. Staples has a program where if you bring in a bag of supplies, I say school supplies because I used to have my bag over here. I have a bag that's going actually right now of like dead pens. If you bring in a bag, I bring in like a gallon size bag, a Ziploc bag. Bring it in, they recycle it, you get 500 points, which is the equivalent of $2 that you can use on a purchase. You can do that once per month. So I try to do it at the beginning of every month. I bring in a bag, I get $2. Now, that adds up over time. It doesn't expire, which is great. So when it came time for purchasing my planner, for instance, I said at the beginning it was $16.99. The only thing I had to pay for was tax, and that's it. And I think my tax was less than $1. So it really worked out in my favor. The other thing you can do is if you have any kind of cartridges, so ink cartridges are the big one. And if you're not sure, you can always ask your school, hey, do you want me to go recycle this for you? Yes, obviously, I would love to do this. You can also just ask at your school, hey, does anyone have any ink cartridges? You can do it once per month, but you get 500 points, which is also $2. So you can stack those and get $4 per each one. The other thing you can do is there are different bonuses at different times that you can donate towards. For instance, they were running, and I think it just expired, but they were doing if you brought in old tech, not monitors, because you have to pay for monitors, and I found that out. But if you have old tech that's sitting around your house, old cables that don't work, HDMI cables, and I know that's really funny since I'm missing one, but it's not compatible, don't worry. I already checked. The district was like, no, you can't use that one. So apparently mine's special or something. Anyway, but if you brought that in, you could get $5 in rewards money back. So it does stack really well. At one point I had like 30 some dollars that was sitting in there, which was really great because I used it to buy all of the folders that you saw earlier, my planner, and then just some bits and bobs that have kind of just been rolling around. They also have different things each week that are like perks. So for instance, the Astro Bright paper that you saw, I actually got that free with a purchase, and it was any purchase. So buy 50 cents box of crayons, get a free pack of Astro Bright paper. Well, that's like almost $6, $7. So heck yeah, I'll spend 50 cents to go do this. And better yet, if I can spend my rewards to cover that cost, I get free items for this. Yes, you have to pay tax. I guess unless you live in a state that doesn't have tax, like New Hampshire. Don't talk to me, New Hampshire. But you pay for those with your rewards monies, and then you get the item free. Last week was a stack of sticky notes, and I don't need sticky notes because I have a problem. I have a hoarding problem with sticky notes. I love sticky notes, but I didn't get that. But the Astro Bright paper, I did get free. This week they're doing like 100% return or 100% point increase on different supplies. I don't know. I didn't read it too closely. It came today. So I didn't read too closely, but it changes each week. So that's something to just be aware of, that sometimes it's a free with purchase. And if you're already purchasing something, great. And if not, go to the clearance section. The second thing is the Michaels. And if you don't know about the Michaels teacher discount program, at a baseline, it's a 15% teacher discount. So any day of the week, you can go in, get a 15% teacher discount. You do have to prove that you are a teacher. So I would say bring a pay stub or bring your ID that has a current year of you teaching. They were a little funky about my ID. I don't know. Here, I can cover this up. My school ID is the same one because I've been at the same school. So this one says 2022, 2023. They were a little weird about it being like, well, this is kind of old, like this from a few years ago. So just be aware that you might need to do something that's a little more recent, just depending on how closely your place monitors that. But they also had times during the year where that can go up to a 20 or 25% teacher discount. And heck yes, I'm going to take advantage of that. You get rewards on top of it. So right now they have a 3% return on rewards. Normally it's 2%. 3% rewards on every dollar purchased. And once you get to $5, you can cash that out. They also have a deal right now where if you spend $30, you get $5 back immediately in rewards. Now, you do have to be careful because those do expire. And I have unfortunately lost out on a few of those because I haven't been paying attention to the expiration date. You can use that on whatever. It's $5 off of whatever. So I try to use that to purchase individual special things. So if last year I needed more black border for my bulletin boards, that's what I did, because that was, I think, like $1.99 for a pack of that, or 99 cents, basically nothing. And you can use it for whatever. Clearance section is great there. I find a lot of great things in the Michael's clearance section. So that's another way to stretch it. I'm at Michael's pretty frequently, whether it's for my own personal use, art, or classroom related. So my rewards are there for quite a while. I accumulate a few of them. Those are the two that I use the most, the Staples and Michael's. Now these are kind of personal to you or your location, but I know Old Navy does a teacher discount. I don't have an Old Navy near me, so I can't take advantage of that. I just know that a lot of people do. And the second one is if you have a resource or Habitat for Humanity store, they will also do times where there are discounts on clothing or furniture if you need furniture for your classroom. I'm not saying to purchase it on your own, but I am saying if you do need it and you've been approved, let's just be real, you're going to buy it anyway, but at least get it on a discount, at least get it on a discount. But they will do additional percentages off, and that can be either for 5%, 10%, I've seen 20 to 30%, just depending on what kind of inventory they're trying to get rid of. Now, then the last one I'm going to talk about is digital, and I do want to be upfront and say that a number of these you get perks if you use a referral code, either the person that is referring you or you yourself. I will put links in the description. However, I will put an affiliate link if you want to use it, and I will put a link of non-affiliate if you want to use that. I'm not here to make money off anyone, but I did use affiliate links from other people. I'm not looking to start an MLM, by the way, but I did use affiliate links from other people, and it helped me get a boost up to start accumulating rewards. So I'm going to pass that on to other people, but I'm not going to pressure anyone to use it. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. If you want to use other people, go for it. I don't care. I'm just here to help you make and save money. Okay. Now the first one that I've used the longest, but I'm not going to make a lot of money on it, is Ibotta. Now Ibotta is a grocery store, but I've also used it as it relates to school materials as well. I will say that I've used it for years. I have in total made less than $1,000 on it. It's still a good chunk of money, and I am like this close to getting ready to cash out. I might actually be able to make it. But over the years, it has become a little more difficult to find things that fit my needs or my current season of life. If you are somebody who has kids, there are a lot of kids ones on there for diapers and different things. I don't have kids, and so that's just not me. There is a high amount of things that don't pertain to me as far as like the health and beauty or dietary needs. It's not me, so I can't use those. However, there are plenty that I can use. For instance, I went to the grocery store. They had a probiotic that my husband has been taking, and I probably should as well. And they had that. It was on clearance because the box was jankety, and so that was 50% off. So that brought it down to $12, and then there was an Ibotta rebate on it for $4.50. So I got an originally $25 box of probiotics for less than $8, and that to me was like, oh my gosh, that I cannot pass up. You have to reach a certain amount before you can cash out, but you can cash out for things like gift cards, donations. If you want to donate to the American Red Cross or the Cancer Society, you can do that. You can also have it directly deposited to your account, which is usually what I do. You can do it in $25 increments. If you're doing a direct deposit, if you're redeeming for a gift card, you can do it in $20 increments. So just be aware. A lot of the discounts are for like less than $1. So you can get 10 cents, 15 cents, 25 cents. My advice to you is don't purchase unless you are already going to be purchasing that item. So if you are like, oh my gosh, I have like 600, trying to think. What's something I see on there all the time? If I have like 600 English muffins, I don't need to purchase more English muffins. Even if I can get 10 cents back on them, it doesn't matter. You don't need more English muffins, okay? We're not here to hoard. We are just here to help save the monies. But I'm gonna use them. Yeah, I'm sure you will, but do you really need to add to your 600 English muffins? Probably not. You know, save some for the rest of us. I don't eat English muffins, so you're not saving them for me, but for anyone else who eats them. So that's a good thing to use. Ibotta does do some bonuses that, depending on how much you redeem, they get harder and harder, obviously. But sometimes you can get a $2 bonus if you redeem five rebates in that week. Okay, extra $1, sure, whatever, I can do that. Just make sure stuff you're already doing. Don't go out of your way to do it because it defeats the purpose of saving money if you're spending to save. Does that make sense? So that's the first one, is Ibotta. I've used that one the longest, so I have a pretty good understanding of what you do and what you don't do with it. The second one that I've used, probably the second longest, is the Google Survey Rewards. Now, I found that this is actually different based on your operating system. So for instance, I have an Android, and previously I have had an iPhone. I don't anymore, but previously I have. And with the iPhone, the Google Rewards, you could... Okay, apparently we're going into dark mode. Sorry. Okay, I guess we're dark mode now. Previously on the iPhone, you can cash it out into your bank account. Android is not that way. You can only redeem it for things in the App Store. Now, what this is good for is if you do use classroom apps that do cost money, or you want to purchase ones that do cost money, you can use this money towards it. I have done that before. I've used it for a really good translation app. I don't need that anymore in my current district because things like that are provided. But I now use it as, to be honest, I use it to pay for my Twitch subscriptions. I just watch very specific streamers that I find very amusing, and I want to support them, but I don't have the money to support them, so I take Google Survey Rewards in order to do that. In my way, I feel like it's, Google having to pay them or something for my amusement. So the new one that I've started using is Fetch. I've used that now for over a year, and this one was something I downloaded last year from Pocketful of Primary. And when I downloaded it, you got like a 3,000 point referral bonus, which was great. So that's why I said, like, some of these I've gotten from other people. Please just either, I don't know, go support them or something. But if I didn't sign up with her code, I wouldn't have gotten those additional points. I'm up to like 35,000 points now. And all you do is any receipt at all, you take a picture of it and you upload it. That's it. I don't do anything else. Sometimes there are bonuses associated with it, but I don't do any of them. I just don't. And when I find that I snap a thing and it says, oh, you found a bonus, because you don't have to like click anything to add the bonuses. You've got a bonus. I was like, oh, wow, cool. Yay, me. I got bonus. All I did was buy gas, but whatever. They had one that was like Petco, expend $40 and you could get like 2,000 bonus points or something. And I have cats, so that's no problem to spend on that. And so when I uploaded that and it was like, surprise, I was like, oh my gosh, hey, cool, yay. Typically receipts are like 25 points each, unless there is a bonus associated with it. So just keep that in mind that you're not gonna like find that every single time. However, the points do come up pretty quickly, I will say. And me being at 35,000, I can cash out for quite a few gift cards at this point. I think we're probably going to use it on buying our cats a automatic feeder because we're going back to school and I can't be around to feed them 24/7, funny enough. But so I think that's what we're going to use it for. But in saying that, those are things that you can use to put a little bit of money into your pocket. So right now I'm planning on cashing out on my Ibotta, so I'll get $25 there. I'm planning on cashing out on my Fetch, so I'll get, I think, probably $35, or 30. I don't know, it's one of the two. And I'll have that, so I have right now $55 extra to kind of play around with, which when I'm like really watching the bottom line on my personal budget is important. The next one that is another app is the Box Tops for education. And this one I just started using, and it's a little more difficult because we don't typically buy name brand items. We buy things that are whatever's cheapest. I don't care. I really don't. There are very few things that I'm like, it has to be that brand. Very few. And sometimes that's just because dietary needs. So like very specific types of ramens. I'm allergic to mushrooms, and so a lot of ramen will be made with some kind of mushroom in it. So there's very specific ones that I can and can't have. So in that case, yes. But most of the time I just don't care. That money goes back to your school, and it's not a substantial amount of money by any means. Like I think our school made a whole $4.50 last year. But if you are already purchasing the items because you eat a lot of cereal or you eat a lot of oatmeal or something like that, I don't know. I don't know what's on the Box Tops, but I just eat mini wheats. So, but that does go back to your school, which is really nice. And I'm happy to do that, especially because it's stuff I'm already purchasing. So who cares? The last one, and this is entirely related to you, and that is do not discount your grocery programs. There are many programs that if you spend a certain amount, you get points each time. Those points add up into various things. I think just about every time I go to the grocery store, I think I have like $1 reward on my groceries, like that I can apply to my groceries. And if you are looking to purchase something that is very specific. So I know that some people do purchase snacks for their classroom. Do that. I know that some people want to have like a student supply section that has things like Band-Aids, pads, tampons, deodorant, things like that. Use that because you can get it free or at a severe discount. Obviously buying in bulk is also a good way, but if you are somebody who does not use Amazon or you do not utilize those kinds of bulk savings, then don't worry about it. You have other ways of doing it. Having lived in the Midwest, I know that Kroger has a rewards program. I know that Myers has a rewards program that you can utilize, and there are different points of the year that you can really stack it up. Was it last year or the year before? One of the two. Myers had a Black Friday deal where if you bought $50 in gift cards, you got 20,000 rewards points. And that was huge. And the gift cards were just things like, oh, okay, I'm just going to buy a gift card to the grocery store. Like, I'm going to spend money here anyway. I might as well do it on this one and get points for it. So take advantage of your grocery programs because those are ones that I think are underutilized as far as classroom. They're more so think of like, oh, like I can use it in my personal life. And that is entirely true. And that is what I do it for. But also think that you can use these for your classrooms as well, especially because sometimes it's things like, you get money back on different supplies. You can get it back on pencils. You can get it back on storage solutions, things like that. Like you don't have to look specifically at being it's food or nothing, especially because stores like Kroger and Meijer are kind of like one-stop shops, whereas I think here in the Northeast, grocery stores are grocery, and that's about it. So I'll rant about that another day. But yeah, so those are kind of the ones that I use. Like I said, I will keep those things in the description. There are some obvious ones that you can always try, which is like, join your, if you utilize Facebook, you can join your Buy Nothing group that's for your area. If you use Front Page Forum, you can use that. There are a lot of times people that put free items there. I also am not above driving up and down the street on the day after college classes get let out and taking all the free stuff off of those, because a lot of the times you find some really good stuff. Do you need a mini fridge? Do you need a mini fridge? Because I bet you if you go drive around, you will find a mini fridge. Do not discount the dumpster, okay? I'm not above dumpster diving, especially because I've gotten some pretty dang good stuff. Like I said, the drawer cart, free. Normally would have had to spend between $45 and $50 full price. I'm not doing that. So instead, hey, but a free one that I just have to clean up, disinfect, absolutely. I'm totally on board with that. So and those are kind of no-brainer things, depending on your level of pride. You can also go to garage sales and mention that you are a teacher and you are using this in your classroom. Garage sales also have a lot of free bins. I've gotten a lot of free things out of there that I can put in my prize bins. Things that are, like the old McDonald's toys or Beanie Babies or things like that. They also make really good early finisher things that kids can play with for imagination and imaginary play. You can also use them for still life. And if you are looking for items for still life that are a little more novel and they're not just shapes, if you are looking for something that's like a llama head, which was just given to me the end of last year, and I haven't figured out what to do with him yet. He might actually fit my scissors. These are my special scissors. Kids are not allowed to use them. It does kind of fit. We'll think on this, but if you have any others, feel free to put them in the description. There are obviously some other programs that I am not privy to because I don't live in that area, or I don't utilize that grocery store. I don't utilize that big box store. So you are welcome to put it down there and let somebody else know. Okay. I hope this has helped. Have a good one. Bye.